Okay. So before we go into the actual session, so let me introduce myself. I'm Srikanth. I'm working as a business analyst from past 14 years. So in 2000, from 2019, I have started working as okay. So from 2009, I've been working as a full-time business analyst. Before that, from 2007 to 2009, I was working as a SMA. Then I have transferred my career here as a business analyst. Okay. So my entire experience is into USA health insurance domain, where I've been working for different softwares. So till now, in my experience, I have worked on 5 to 6 projects end to end. Okay. So yeah, this is all about my introduction. So if anyone would like to give that, so let me know how many people are from here non-IT background. So I am from a commerce background. Okay. So how
I
many
am
here
also from
are
commerce
IT,
background.
non-IT? Okay.
I'm from non-IT too.
Okay. Okay, fine. So the reason just why I'm asking is, so there is a myth, there is a myth in the IT industry that be a business analyst should have a is should be from IT background or technical background, but that is not required. Okay, so the business analyst role itself says, okay,
Le le le.
a business analyst will talk on the business perspective. Okay, so the role itself says the business analyst. That means a business analyst will talk to client only on the business perspective, not on the technical side. Okay, so that is the reason it is not mandatory for a BA to have the technical knowledge, or he or she should from the technical background. Okay, so let me move on. So before we go into the actual topics, let us see some highlights of the training program. Okay, so during this training program, we will be covering from basics to advanced topics like so when I say basics, so generally a business analyst training would be like around waterfall methodology and scrum methodology. But in my training, I would be teaching you the pre-project activities also. Okay, so we'll see what are the basic skill what a BA should have, and we'll also see what are pre-project activities. So there are few steps organization will initiate before assigning the team any project. Okay, so we look into that pre-project activities too and gain some knowledge around that too. This is because when you gain some real-time experience, so organizations will expect you to have that particular knowledge. Okay, so as I mentioned, we'll cover from basics to advanced topics, core business core business analysis knowledge with case studies in different domain. Okay, so during this course or during this training, we'll be working on different case studies on different domains. Okay, why? Because if you work, if you the so writing requirements is different in banking sector, and writing requirements is different in insurance domain, and writing requirements for e-commerce software is different. Okay, so techniques are same, but the thought process what you have to put in, and the requirement, the writing of the designing the requirements in the BRD document and FRD document would be differ from domain to domain. Okay, so to learn everything and to gain knowledge at maximum, we will work on the case studies for different domains. Okay, so we'll cover the entire SDLC. SDLC is like software development lifecycle. Okay, we'll cover waterfall methodology and Scrum methodology. Scrum and Agile both are same. Okay, so Agile is a methodology under which Scrum is a framework. Okay, so in under Agile we have a lot of frameworks like Scrum. We have Kanban. Okay, we have extreme programming. We have a feature development, future coding development or test driven development. Okay, so we have a lot of frameworks under Agile. But waterfall methodology and Scrum methodology are the mostly used in the current IT sector. So that is the reason we are going to learn about Scrum methodology. Okay. So once we come to the end of Scrum training, we'll start our resumes preparation. Okay. So whoever wants to prepare the resume and showcase their business analyst experience. Okay. So we'll work on the resume preparation. Then we'll, based on your expertise and based on the knowledge you have gained and based on the confidence level you have after working on all the case studies, we'll do the mock interviews and we'll start applying the jobs. Okay. So at the same time, when we work on resume preparation, we will also we'll also work on your Naukri and LinkedIn profiles. Okay. So one thing I just forgot to mention. So in this during this entire course, we will be doing like a role play activities. Okay. So when I say role play activities, like when we talk about or when we discuss about requirements gathering techniques, or when we come to that topic, we will do a role play activity. Like we'll take one topic as an example or one case study as an example, and you guys have to play a role of a business analyst, and I will play a role of a client, and you guys have to identify the correct elicitation or requirement technique. Then you have to gather requirements from me. Okay. So out of these activities, you will get knowledge on how business analyst will gather the requirements in real time when he or she goes and on roll. Okay. So at the same time, when we learn this Scrum methodology, we will do a real time estimation. Okay. So we have a separate or the estimating the user stories in Scrum is different from waterfall methodology. Okay. So we will do a live estimation of user stories in the Scrum. Okay. So let me take a pause here and let me ask you if you have any questions until now or anything you want to know additionally.
What is the duration session?
So daily we'll be having a 1 hour session, that is 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. IST, and this will last 30 days, 30 to 40 days. And session would be only on weekdays like Monday to Friday.
Monday to Friday.
Yeah.
So, will it be paid? Like we have to pay something for the session?
Yes. It is a paid
Okay, how
session.
much would be that?
Sorry?
So, how much would that be?
So for free details, you can contact me personally. I will just display my contact number or on the screen. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So when we come to the end of this session, I'll just give you my email ID and my contact number. You can talk to me. Okay. So any other questions or any other information you want to know? Naveen, Sidhu, Shiva, Sumant.
No, bro,
My
I
side,
have
no
no
questions,
questions.
Srikanth.
Okay.
No, I
Okay,
don't
fine.
have any questions.
So the first and foremost thing you have to make a note list. So as a business analyst, you should be communicative. Okay. So you should this training should be like it should be like a two-sided communication. Okay. It is not like that I am keep on talking and you guys are keep on listening, right? So you should also talk, or you should also express your questions or anything. Okay. So when I ask you guys some questions, you guys have to respond. Okay. So that I'll get confirmation that you guys are following me and you do not have any questions or you have some questions. Okay. Just keep a note of this during the training course. Okay. So let me move on to the next slide. Okay. So this is the course roadmap. So on week 1 we are going to learn about overview of a business analyst and key knowledge areas. Okay. In the second week, we are going to learn about stakeholder analysis, okay, requirement analysis, and we'll also learn the how to map the requirements using activity diagrams and how to design the requirements, okay. And we will also work on case studies too. On week 3, we will learn about waterfall methodology, and in waterfall methodology we have a lot of artifacts or a lot of documentation business analyst should do, like business requirement document or functional requirement document, or it may be user manuals, okay, reviewing the test cases, okay. So these kind of artifacts what business analysts will work on the waterfall methodology, okay. And we'll also work on some case studies, like you guys have to prepare a business requirement document and functional requirement document, okay. So when we come to week 4, we will start learning about Scrum, and we'll start learning how to write user stories, and we'll also learn how to use Jira, okay, and again some case studies here. So when we are working, when we are learning Scrum and other parts in the week 4, simultaneously we will work on your resume preparation, okay. So once we are done with that, we'll work on your Naukri and LinkedIn profiles. Then based on your confidence levels, as I mentioned, we will do a mock-up interviews. Then we can start applying for the jobs. Okay. So this is what course will be taken up on during the 4 weeks. Okay. So we'll move on to the next slide. So any questions here, or you're clear?
Are you using any kind of tools?
Yes, the next slide would be on the tools. Okay.
Yeah, please proceed, Srikanth.
Yeah, thank you. So what you learn out of this course, so the outcome once we complete this course, so what is the outcome of this course? Okay, so you'll be able to understand the role and importance of a business analyst, okay, and you'll also come to know how to plan the requirement activities, and how to elicit the requirements from stakeholders, okay, and how to analyze the requirements, okay. It is not like our job ends only at the gathering the requirements, but we have to analyze the requirements, okay, and we have to document the requirements for different type of projects. So, if you're working on 2 or 3 projects, we have to document them, and how to write and validate the requirements, okay, how to manage the requirements and communicate the same to the stakeholder, and internally to the development team and testing team, okay. So we'll also learn how to validate the solution, okay, and what are the best practices of a business analyst, and we'll also learn about waterfall and agile life cycles, okay. So these would be the outcome of this course. So once we complete the entire course, you will be able to do all these things, okay. So moving on with the next slides. So the tools what we are going to use is, so the first tool what we are going to use is MS Visio. So in MS Visio we do draw like activity diagrams and use case diagrams for modeling our requirements or for mapping our requirements, okay. The next tool what we are going to use is Balsamiq. So Balsamiq is like a prototyping tool, or it is used to do a screen mockup, okay. So when you're working on a project based company, there would be no existing any product, right? So in that case, when client approaches you for a for example, when client approaches you for a e-commerce website or e-commerce software, client would be more interested in seeing how that website looks like, okay. So for that purpose we use this Balsamiq, okay, just to show the mock-up of the website to the stakeholders or clients, okay. Then the next tool what we are going to use is Jira. So in Jira we do maintain the user stories, okay. So in waterfall methodologies we term as requirements, whereas in Jira, whereas in Scrum we term them as the user stories, okay. So in Jira we maintain the user stories or requirements. So the next tool what we are going to use is the planning poker cards, okay. So these cards are used for user story estimation in Scrum methodology, okay. So if you notice, the series of numbers are going like this, okay. It is 1 and it is 2 and it's 2 plus 1, it is 3, okay. and it is 3 plus 2, it's 5. When you add 5 plus 3, it is 8, so on. Okay, 13 plus 8, it is 21. Okay, so this series of numbers are called Fibonacci series. Okay, so any user story will be estimated using these planning poker cards. Okay, so we learn how to use these planning poker cards during our training session, and we'll also do a live estimations of a user story. So these are the tools what we are going to use in this training program. Okay, any questions until now?
Are these tools free or we have to pay for them?
So Jira is a paid tool. Okay, Jira, Balsamiq, and Visio, all these three are paid tools, but we can have a free version for learning purpose. Okay, so we have an alternative for Visio, that is a free tool. Okay, and you can practice and you can do whatever you want in that tool. That would be similar to MS Visio. Okay, and Balsamiq and Jira, these are both paid tools, but we can have a trial period of 30 days. Okay, we can practice, that is enough for us.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
and these cards are free. I mean, we have a free tool to use them for practice purpose.
Do we
Okay.
use Visio for UML diagrams?
Yes,
Or
UML.
okay,
So the use case diagrams, use UML diagrams, both are same.
okay. Thank you, Srikant.
Okay. Yeah. Fine. So can I move to next slide or any other questions you have? Okay.
Nothing
No.
from my
Yeah. Thank
Yeah, clear, Srikant.
you. So this is the flow diagram, sample flow diagram, what we have done in the using MS Visio. Okay. So just let us watch a small video and to understand the basic roles and responsibilities of a business analyst. Okay. So let me start the video. You guys, once I start the video, just let me know if you're able to see if you're able to hear the audio and if you're able to see the session video. Okay. So you guys are able to see the video, right? YouTube.
Yes.
Okay. Let me increase the volume.
Srikant, voice is not audible.
Who is this?
Naveen.
Naveen. Okay. So is it same for everyone? You guys are not able to hear?
Yeah, it's not audible.
Okay, 1 minute. You are able to hear now?
No.
No.
Now,
First and foremost, Angela understands Rob's business objectives, profits, and requirements. For understanding this, do you think that
No, Srikanth.
you're still unable to hear. That's fine. You can read through this. You can read through these headings. I'll explain what is there here. Okay.
Okay.
Srikanth, Srikanth, I think if you mute and play the video, we can hear, I think. There is a disturbance from your side and the YouTube video simultaneously.
Okay.
Okay, now also we are not able to hear. Maybe some other fault.
once Angela has a depth here, she recognizes and allocates tasks and resources to the development team. This work closely with the development team to design the solution for a problem. Angela ensures that the development team doesn't spend their time understanding Rob's requirements. In this step, along with the development team, she finalizes the software and tools required to build the project. Angela doesn't rest until the project is delivered to Rob. She continuously monitors the progress and constantly provides her feedback to the development team with respect to the app's layout, design, and other features. She gives them suggestions in order to improve the application. In the next step, Angela collects feedback of the prototype version of the app from the users. She notes down if the prototype is fine or if it requires more work. PAs validate if the project is running fine with the help of user acceptance testing. They verify if the solution being worked on is in line with the requirements and ensure that the final product satisfies the user expectations. PAs also assess the functional and non-functional requirements. After collecting feedback, Angela moves to one of her most crucial duties, and that is building reports. Data visualization is a key skill for any VA. In order to gauge the performance of the app and get valuable insights from it, Angela builds reports using various data visualization tools like Tableau, Power BI, and Q. Reports can be general reports, such as detailed reports, or it can be dashboard reports, such as visualized reports with multi-dimensional analysis based on display of business indicators. It is not uncommon for issues to crop up amidst this entire process. Hence, Angela conducts regular meetings with the development team and Rob to solve problems quickly. Having these meetings will help Rob understand the status of the project, and it will also help the team to see the right path. Throughout this project phase, Angela makes sure to maintain transparency. On completion of the project, Angela documents and presents the project findings to Rob. Generally, business analysts present the project outcomes to the stakeholders and clients along with maintenance reports. Angela notes down all the project learnings and details in a concise manner. This will help her take better decisions in the future, and these documents will save her time by implementing the next project. Now that she has completed all her duties and responsibilities with respect to Rob's project, she is ready to deliver the final e-commerce application to Rob for use. Rob is rest assured that the application developed by Angela's firm is apt for his business and just what he wanted. Angela's streamlined approach made it easier for the project to be delivered within the stipulated time period. Rob is happy, and I'm sure.
Okay. Okay, so so in that video, no, this is the only video what we have throughout the training. So there is no other video like this. Okay, so let me open the notepad and explain you what did happen in that session. Okay. Okay, so you guys are able to see the notepad, right?
Yes.
Okay, so in that case, there were two characters like Rob and Angela. Okay, so Rob is a customer who has a need of e-commerce software. Okay, e-commerce software, and Angela is a Angela is a BA who works for a Angela is working for an IT company as a BA. So when Rob approaches that IT company, Angela spoke to Rob. As a first step, what should they do? Angela has analyzed Rob's business. Okay, analysis means what is the existing process. What is the if Rob has any existing documentation. Okay, so that kind of analysis, how the what is the process involved in the current business what Rob is doing. Okay, so once Angela analyzed the business, then she started gathering the requirements. Okay, so she started talking to the stakeholders and Rob, and she started gathering the requirements. So once requirements are gathered, Angela has documented them in a specific format or specific template. Okay, once documentation is done, sign off from the client, that is Rob. Okay, so taking sign off is the most challenging duty or responsibility of a business analyst. Okay, so once we are done with once we are done with documenting the requirements, we have to take the sign off from the client on that particular documentation. Okay, so the next is fifth. Once sign off is done, Angela will discuss the requirements with the dev team and QA team. Okay, so as a business analyst, we have to discuss the requirements, or we have to educate the development team and testing team on the requirements. Okay, we have to make them understand how the requirement will work and what should they develop. Okay, then the most important thing as a business analyst, what you have to do is uh, you know track the progress of the project. Okay, progress of the project using different reports. Okay, so this is the main responsibility besides requirements gathering and documenting. This is the main responsibility of a business analyst. Okay, tracking the progress of requirement and presenting the same to client. Okay, then once we track the progress of requirement, as a BA, we need to review the test cases. Okay, so we have to review the test cases and ensure testing team is covering all the features. Okay, when it comes to the when feature has been developed. Okay, then once we are done with reviewing the test cases, we have to hand over, we have to present a demo to the client on the software. Okay, so once development is completed and everything is completed, we have to present a demo to the client on how the software will work or how the application will work. Okay, so if client is okay, if client is happy with the development work what we have done, we can hand over the software to the client. If any feedback, if client gives any feedback or anything needs to be improved, again we have to coordinate with the development team and do the respective changes. Okay, so this is what Angela has done at a high level in that case study. Okay, so Angela did a ROPS business analysis. Okay, she gathered the requirements, documented the requirements, she tracked the requirements. Okay, so this is what a high level roles and responsibilities of a business analyst. Okay, when I write on the notepad, it seems to be very easy, but we have to spend a lot of efforts in doing this. Okay, so documenting the requirements is a very challenging job for a business analyst. Okay, and taking sign off is also a very challenging thing for a BA, and we have to keep on talking to client, okay, in order to clear our any clarifications, or if we have to explain any requirement to client. Okay, so a business analyst will be the client facing role in any organization. Okay, when it comes to the project delivery or project tracking, client will always talk to the business analyst. Client will not even talk to the project manager or development team or QA team. Okay, so client business analyst is a client facing role. Okay, so as we have, as we can also see on the screen, a business analyst, okay, a business analyst is gathering requirements from project sponsor. Okay, project sponsor is nothing like the client, and he or she also discussing the requirements with software developer and the testing team. Okay, we have to identify the functional and non-functional requirements once we gather all the requirements. Okay, so a business analyst will set the expectations to the stakeholders on how the what should be expectations and everything using the screen mockups. Okay, and he will also discuss the user requirements with business users and take sign off. So business users are nothing but as stakeholders. Okay, and business analyst will define the scope and status of the project with project manager. Okay, so he will present the status of the current what is the status of the project at current state. So that kind of reports will be presented to the project manager. Okay, so any questions until now on this topic?
No, Srikant.
Okay. Okay. So let me move on with the next slide. Okay. So these are the most frequently used terminology. So this is one of the these are the mostly used terminologies as a business analyst. Okay. So the first the first thing is a scope of work. What we say it as a SOW. Okay. In the SOW or scope of work, what we mentioned, like this is not a BA artifact. Okay, though the manager and other people will take care of SOW, but we should have a knowledge on what does SOW consist of. Okay, so this is just like an agreement between the client and our IT organization. Okay, so in the scope of work we mentioned like what is the project duration and how many resources we have to use for the project and what is the costing of that project. Okay, so that kind of terms and conditions will be mentioned in SOW. And next thing is a use case. Okay, use case is like a scenario. So in other situations we mention it as a scenario, but when you talk on the business analyst perspective, we have to mention it as a use case. Okay, so for example we say that in this scenario the application should flow like this. This will talk out of the BA context, but when you're talking to the client and when you're talking internally with your team who works on that project, we have to talk as in this use case the project or the software should function like this. Okay, so the next is a change requirement. So this is the most frequently we hear this word during the life cycle, like change requirement. So once we are done with any development activity, okay. So for example, if client wanted, if client gave a requirement on customer registration page, and we have completed that requirement, okay. So once we delivered to the client, client wanted to change that particular functionality, okay. That is called a change in requirement, okay. So the next word is the elicitation. So as I said, eliciting the requirements from stakeholders. So, this is the word what we use mostly as a BA. So then next is a validation. So validating the requirements or validating the solutions. Okay. Validation is nothing but verifying the requirement or verifying the solution, whether it is feasible into our project or not. Okay. And the next word what we use mostly is the environment. So environments are something like, servers. Okay. So, we have different servers or different environments in life cycle, like, development server or QA server or UAT server, user acceptance testing, pre-production server or production server. So instead of saying servers, we have to mention it as an environment, like development environment, okay, QA environment, or pre-production environment or production environment. Okay. So these are the environments what we encounter during our life cycle. Then next is the estimation. Okay. So estimation is like measuring a particular work. Okay. So for example, if we have to measure the development phase of a particular project in a waterfall methodology, we have to estimate that, this development phase will go up to 3 months or 6 months or 1 year. So measuring one particular work is called the estimation. Okay. Then last thing is the artifacts. So artifacts are, documents. So instead of saying documents, when you're talking to the team or when you're talking to the client, we have to mention them as artifacts. Okay. So any questions until now, or any additional thing you want to know?
Do you use any tools for
For-
business analyst?
Yes. So I think we have already discussed on the tools part. So these are the tools what we use as a business analyst.
So the same thing used for the estimation also.
For the same thing, what is that? I did not understand your question.
Do you use the same tools for the estimation, the project estimation?
These are the tools what we use for the project estimation, requirements estimation.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So for today we'll end up here. Tomorrow we'll start actual topics of BA, like, we learn about business analysis and business analyst. What is the importance of business analysis and other topics. Okay. So for today we'll end up here. So if you have any questions, you can just ask me now, or you can send me an email. So I'll just put my email on the screen and my contact number. So these recordings will be provided to you. So daily our live recordings are, our live trainings are recorded, and the recordings are provided to the participants for future references. Okay. So this is my email ID and contact number. Okay. So this is my contact number, and my name is Srikanth. Okay. So this is my WhatsApp number too. Okay. So if you're going to call me, please call me after a couple of hours, because I have to, make ready my kid for school. So you can call me at after 2 hours. Okay. So if you guys do not have any questions, we can wind up for today, and we will catch up tomorrow at the same time.
One
Thank you,
question.
Srikanth.
What is the difference between development and production?
See, development environment is like, so development team will work. Our development team will work like, they will code the application or they will code the software in the development environment. So production environment is like client will use the environment, client will use that environment. So this is the live environment what a client will use.
Okay, production happens after handovering the software to the client.
Correct. Production will happen after handovering the software to the client.
So we have to train the client and his team.
Yes. So that will happen at the UAT stage. So on the
Even in
UAT
that case, the BA will be available or the project manager will take.
be a business analyst. We have to train the client. So that is the reason I mentioned business analyst is a client facing role. Okay. So many of the business get on-site opportunities during UAT phase and requirements phase because we have to directly deal with the client.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Is there any role for the visualization tools like Tableau or Power BI in this?
So in this course, we are not going to cover Tableau or Power
No,
BI, Naveen.
whether it will be usable for the business analyst further?
Not right now, but when you gain some, real-time experience, when when you gain a real-time experience of 3 to 4 years, at that point of time, you can learn, but not right now.
Okay, okay.
So do we really need to know those?
Sorry,
Do we really need to know the technologies?
like Tableau and Power BI,
Uh-huh.
that is your wish. Okay, that is only as a upgrading yourself. Okay, that is only based on totally you are willing to learn or not. But that is not mandatory for a business analyst.
Okay, Srikanth, thank you.
Okay, yeah. Thank you guys. Thanks for attending. Okay, we'll catch up tomorrow at the same time.
Thank you.
Thank you.